I think it's important that people understand, and Greg, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. So many of you have answered the call to prayer and fasting on Greg's behalf, and he's too much of a man's man to tell you everything he went through, but I can tell you this. Both he and his wife, Liz, have gone through literal medical hell, and God was with them. I remember getting a picture from Greg that Liz sent me. Basically, he's holding his hands up in the air and praising the Lord, and they told him just hours before that his chances weren't very good. Well, the bottom to come out, alive. So what you're hearing tonight, what you're going to hear, is going to be kind of, I'd say this, shocking to you. In the last day, 24 hours, then the last several hours, I've been told by someone who just returned from Argentina who's very well connected, and when I say very well connected, there's just no better way to get connected than he is. And he told me this, that even Lockheed Martin, and they're known as the Skunk Works, they are the ones credited to reverse engineering spacecraft, alien craft, and both unusual craft from out of the world and from the inner world, okay? And you can look it up. Skunk Works. Look up Ben Rich. The thing that's fascinating is he said that they have their reverse engineering team being brought in, and teams plural. Now, most people don't understand is Antarctica is it's the 5th largest continent in the world. So the military base is off limits to anybody except who the military allows them there. Obviously, different countries have different research bases, but when he told me that 1,000, those were his numbers, I queried him twice. He said, you know what they're looking for. You know what they're there for. And I said, absolutely. They found the ancient technology. They found the things they need to reverse engineer. They obviously are called in even where their expertise may exceed even the quote-unquote 135-year-old Nazis. So, Greg, can I get you to focus right now on the Antarctica, and obviously what your friend and those in the know are talking specifically about the Antarctica, because I don't think that people recognize how critical this is, because this will be the launch. This is the key, and I would use the word skeleton key, and in this case, the giants, which you call critters, they are in a form of stasis, and that's suspended animation, but something has broken them out of that stasis, and I believe the number you were given was 4 dozen. Is that correct?
Yes.
So will you take it from there, sir? And then when you get
tired, you
can turn it back. Thank you.
No problem. And, Steve, thanks for giving people just a little bit of a heads up on the geography of Antarctica, because it is such a major area, major landmass. And, of course, all of the landmass areas in the world go down through the crust and into the mantle, and before they're turned molten. So they can go down 2, 3, 4 miles. That's usually about the limit before temperatures that increase and so forth make it difficult to go any further. But what has happened, and Steve, your statement doesn't give credibility to the fact that a certain astronaut by the name of Buzz Aldrin was down there, and I'll just simply say that he saw more than he probably bargained for, and left and just decided it was time to get out the best he could. But why would he have been down there, Steve? I've been asking myself that over and over, and I believe because he was and is one of the few original astronauts, that he has the mental acuity to understand the science that has been handed over to the Nazis, at least to the extent that he can. No one has all of the pieces of the puzzle, but they've got plenty of them. And so I'm going, why would he be down there? And yet at the same time, the giants are in the process of coming out of stasis, and I believe it's because they're being released, the original one was released so they could study this giant. And you're talking about a creature 15 to 20 feet tall. Now, maybe you think you're tall at 6'4", John Wayne, but nope, that's not going to get it. These guys will step on you like a bad bug. So I just think that we need, again, to keep in mind what is at stake here. Now, when this began to unravel, and I'll digress just for a moment, still on the same subject, the tunnel that has been created, that's a couple of miles wide, I am told. I have no independent verification, but I'm told that. Until I get that, I'll have to go with this. And I'll tell you that so you understand that I do have room for error, and I'll admit it if it's my error. But if I'm told something, I'm going to go ahead with it and research the rest of the information based on what I do have and what I believe an area below the surface of the water into southern Argentina. And the tunnel that they have cut with tunneling devices, they're huge, just massive. And they can go 7 miles in a day. Well, it doesn't take too long to figure out that they're going to be able to go all the way up through South America, all the countries there, through Central America, North America, Canada, and into the Northwest Territories. So, what are we facing? We're facing a group of these giants, apparently some from a separate point of origin that have found their way through all these countries into the Northwest Territories, where there are some rather large caves. And while exploring, some people heard and one claimed to see things that were otherworldly. They could not believe what they were seeing or hearing. And so when those gentlemen contacted me, what can we do? And I sought out some good minds, and they said, because the scent trail with DNA and so forth is so profound, the only way you're going to be able to keep them at bay, along with the weapons I told you about of copper, solid copper, not copper jacketed, but solid copper. And these gentlemen have arrows, spears, bullets, and so forth that are solid copper. I have solid copper weapons. That is the ammunition. And why? Because you've got to defend yourself. You're not going to make it against somebody that's 15, 18, 20 feet tall. You will not. And so you must take the precautions that we've been talking about and put them into play the moment these things become visible. And so I said, now, set up a tripwire system where you've got some red lights, amber lights, green lights, I don't care what color lights, and a sound system that will let you know when these things are coming up. And so if you do that, you can give yourself the best protection you can, and the people of your tribe, your local villages, and even more than that. So that is where the northern aspect of this came in. Along the way, there have been appearances of these creatures in Bolivia and other areas in Central America and northern South America. They are being spotted, and the individuals that were sent in immediately by the country's equivalent of our special forces were not able to deal with it mentally, emotionally, or literally with tactical advantages and weaponry. So what did they do? Well, like always, they called up Uncle Sam and said, do you have anybody you can send down here? And my understanding is that they sent roughly a company of Special Forces operators and to look the situation over and find out what was going on. And the best thing that I can tell you is that there has been no one at this point, Steve, Doug, Joe, no one that has been able to come out of an encounter as they went in to the encounter. They have been changed. In some cases, changed to the point where within an instant, their hair went gray, and they had infirmities they never had before. And so we're talking about a situation that is beyond our ability to just deal with it. You know, when the sergeant comes up and says, look, deal with this, you don't deal with this. You have to do your best and hope you survive. Now, that being said, we're under a gun time-wise. What will it be? I don't know. Now, Steve, the only thing I told you about what I was going to say tonight was if I got a check from the Holy Spirit, that I would not go beyond what I've said in some of these areas, so you understand.
Yes, I do, and I laid that out, I think, too, at the beginning. Greg, let me ask you one thing, too.
Yes.
Describe what your sources are saying is a 2.5-mile wide, basically underwater ship that's moving, and because, again, you know, there's so much garbage out there on the internet, people are saying it's this or that, but what are your military and scientist sources saying about that?
Well, they are saying that there is a underwater craft, I guess is the best way you can put it, but that it is a Leviathan in size, something that, you know, if it suddenly surfaced and we had video of it, you wouldn't be able to take it all in. If they flew over it in a jet plane, it would take probably 30 seconds at least at 600 miles an hour to go from one end to the other. Now, that is what is keeping things together and also making it difficult to get an idea about, well, why is that needed? I can't answer that, except that I believe that it is a stronghold for those who are being sent to confront this series of creatures. And with the weaponry on board, the latest laser, sonic, visual weaponry that can take out anybody. And I will just say, maybe the verse, as you said, at the time we're not cut short, well, where would we be? And with any more than what we've got now, men's hearts may fail them for fear. Look, they didn't put that in the Bible to make it dramatic. They didn't choose to do this so that we would say, oh, yeah, I got it, I understand. They were giving warning, clear warnings. All right, do you believe in Atlantis? I don't know. I guess I could, simply because there's some evidence, but not enough to satisfy me at this point. I want hard evidence, and I'm seeing it in Under the Ice. I'm seeing it in Steve's writing. I have no issue with what he's put forward. I have no problem with the incredible work that he and his team have done putting the DVDs together so that we have a clear picture of how, why, and where this has evolved. Now, the last thing I want to say at this juncture is this. The events that have occurred under the ice have put individuals in harm's way big time. They only have survived because when they found out about it, even the Nazis, who thought they were indestructible said, "I'm out of here." And they began leaving, and the ships on the surface that have been monitoring this were confirming that this indeed was taking place, and they sent SEAL teams and Green Berets down below the surface in elevators that were the size of a half football field. And why? Because they had to carry large, extremely large cargoes on board, tanks, artillery, and other such weaponry for this very possibility that is unveiling itself now. And so the people that have survived, that came out of there, and I don't believe it was a large casualty count, although I am told there was some. And I'm being told this by several high-ranking military officers. One in particular is the most credible to me. And, well, credible until he said, "Yep, I listen to Quayle all the time. That's why I'm calling you, because I want you to get hold of him." So, and I'm just kidding.